It is coming.
It's coming. My connection is today.
Très bien.
Is it okay now?
Yes.
So you have the lecture here. So lecture is the biggest lake that we have within the region. So it's we have about 4 countries interested in it. You have Niger, you have Nigeria, you have Chad, and you have Cameroon as well. So we have some socio-economic activities ongoing in this lake, in it and around it, and it's very, very important for the population living around. Unfortunately, due to the insecurity with Boko Haram in Nigeria, so those activities are not very, very well conducted in this area. So the aim is to see, even if we are not able to have access to it, how we can use the satellite images to monitor or to map the long-term and the seasonal changes in this water extent. For that, we conducted 2 studies. The first one is the historical the long term, as I said. Can we see it?
Yes, Bako.
Yeah, okay, it's okay, thank you. So I want to talk, I want to share with you the analysis that we did with the long-term changes in the water extent. As we are in informatics, so we are using the script wrote with the support of Digital of Africa, and we will use the WOfS data. So we downloaded the packages. You have them here, and we connect it to the data cube, and you have we digitize. How can we say it in English? Digitalize the extent of the lake, and we import it as a JSON to be so we can use it easily. So the long-term study, we start from 1999 to 2020 for the study, and you have the extent of the lake. I started with it. So we have it here. So now we have the WOfS data, and we downloaded the WOfS data, and we match them with the area of interest, and you have 5 years image of the lecture. As I said, 1999, 24, 29, 2014, and 2020. So you have, as you can see it here, we did it for July, and here you have the animation of those images that we get, and we calculated the annual area of the water extent, and we have the graph showing the annual extent of the water extent. So we have it here, the annual extent of water extent. What we did after having the annual extent of water body, we make the analysis on the ship's data to compare the water extent with the rainfall that we receive in the area. So for that we use, as I said, the chips data, and you have here the annual precipitation in the basin, and this basin, and so we have the extent of the catchment. I think I will show it in the next presentation. So you have all what we receive in terms of rainfall estimation, and we compare them with the water extent that we receive in the lecture. So you have the situation here from 1999, as I said, to 2020. So you have the rainfall estimation and the evolution of the water extent in this lake, and we can easily see where we have the maximum and where we can get the minimum yearly. So we think the minimum is observed during the year 2009 in this lake, and we have the maximum in 2020 and 2020, and I will tell you why, because as you know, last year we have flooding in the area, and we think that the maximum was observed during this year of 2020 in the lake. So you have the surface, you have the water extent here, the year where we have the minimum 2009, and the year where you have the maximum, and you can easily make the comparison between the two, the minimum and the maximum that were observed in this lake. So we can compare easily. What is good in the study is that you can compare easily 2 years, and as a comparison, we compare 2019 and 2020, and you can see the change here. So we have 2019 here and 2020. As I said, this is where we observe the maximum of water extent in the lake, meaning 2020. So you can easily see it with those two images. And what we did is we calculated the change for the two periods, the 2 years, and we plot the results, and we have the result here. So from 2019 and 2020, you have the result that we received. So in terms of the area of water body, and the change, we have water that stay as water. We have about 3,000 square kilometers. Water to no water, less than 500 square kilometers, and no water to water, about 1,700 square kilometers. So this is for the long-term changes in this lake, and those are reports that we receive from decision makers. I think they want to know each year what is the water extent, what is in terms of the area and the extent itself. So we think with this tool, it will be so easy for us to provide the right information that are needed by our decision makers. So now we want to move for the monthly study, the seasonal changes. And for the seasonal changes, we use the same, but we did the study monthly. So we have the same data, and so I'm not sure that this is due to my internet connection, which starts to be down now. And here we load we make the same study, and we represent the water extent monthly. So from January to December, you have the situation of, and you choose the year 2019. So you have it here from January to December. Sorry, it's from 2019 to 2020. So you have all the images monthly. You have them here. And monthly, again, we calculated the water extent instead of yearly, what we did previously. Here we did it monthly, and we have the variation of the area of the water extent in terms of area in the lecture. So we can easily say that yearly or monthly, the maximum of water extent can be measured around January to February, and it's the same for each year. And you can see it here from, we think, December, January, and February, we have the maximum of water extent in the lecture. And the minimum is always in September of each year. You have the minimum of water extent in the lecture. So what we did is to compare the water extent and the rainfall that we receive in the area monthly. So we started by digitizing all the catchments that contribute for the water extent in the lecture, and we have the polygon here. So what we did is to make the analysis in this watershed, or this catchment, to see in terms of rainfall that we receive in this one. So you see the variation of the rainfall. So for the rainfall, we think that the minimum is in January, February, and the maximum of rainfall is in August. So you have the variation from 2019 to date for the rainfall. So what we did is to combine the rainfall and the water extent. So you can see easily here the comparison between the rainfall and the water extent. So as I said, we have the maximum of rainfall in August. But even if you have this maximum, the response in the water extent is not automatically. It will take time to get the contribution of the catchments in the lecture for their contribution for the water extent. And even if you have the maximum in August, the contribution is not enough to make, but the level of water start to be increased. When you have the maximum, you have the level of water extent start to be increased, and you have the maximum in December, January as the response to the rainfalls that we received the maximum in August. So this is the situation, and here we make the comparison between, as I said, the maximum that we can receive is in water extent is in September. So what we did is to compare the water extent in September, two years, 2019 and 2020. So you have the comparison here. So you see, as I said, 2020 is a very exceptional year. You can see the same month in 2019 what we have in terms of water extent, and the same in 2020 for the same water extent. So those are what we receive in terms of study, and what we did is to calculate the area of our water extent, and to see the changes between September 2019 and September 2020. And for that, for those 2 months, we have the water to water, we have 1,000 square kilometers, and water to no water around we have 100 square kilometers, and no water to water we have more than 2,000 square kilometers, as I said. So it's due to the fact that 2020 is a very, very exceptional year. So Ken and all participants, this is what I want to share on this lecture in terms of the mapping of long-term and seasonal changes in this lecture, as I said, which is very, very important in terms of the contribution for the socio-economic aspect in those four countries. Thank you so much for attention, and I'm ready to respond to some the questions that you will be asked. Thank you so much.
Merci beaucoup, Bako. Thank you so much for this great presentation. Any question for Bako?
I forgot to make my presentation in French.
No, nice. Merci beaucoup. Ça, c'est simple.
Okay, thank you.
Edward, any addition to add in French?
Yes, in French.
With French, Bako, I have to come for rehearsals for in French. It was actually a great job and a great presentation, Bako. And
sorry, Edward. I want to add just one few information before giving you the floor. Ken, we presented those two results to the internally here at the Agrhymet Center, and the conclusion is to write a scientific article on it. So this is what I want to add as information for participants. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bako, for being our champion. And this is a great work to highlight Lake Chad as a very big lake with this socioeconomic importance. So any update from Edward? The scripts were well understood?
Yes. Yes, so Ken, the quick one that I wanted to add to it is, as we speak now, the water observation from space historical data is available, which is actually based on Landsat. So we have it from 1985 up to 2020 for the water observation from space. And that's what Bako used for the monitoring of the Lake Chad, both the monthly and the yearly for the historical trend. And the CHIPS data, monthly rainfall data set is also available. So having the catchment area for any place and the water body, you'll be able to actually utilize this notebook at your end and also see how the water body responds to this rainfall work that is actually ongoing. So that's so great work, Bako. This is actually a well done presentation, which was very, very much appreciated, and thank you for it. So these notebooks will also be available for for everyone to also have access to it, and you can also use it.
Thank you so much, Edward. Also, if it's possible to have the notebook posted on the group for anyone to see and comment, and also for colleagues to share and copy paste. And I can also see Joseph has his microphone on.
Yes, thank you, Ken. Thank you, Bako, for this nice presentation. But I had like two small questions. The one is like I saw the lake, the changes from no water to water has been increasing, either from the first notebook you presented, the second notebook you presented. And I was asking myself, do you think that the water is kind of being spread or invading other activities than the lake? So because I've not ever been there. So what do you think? Could you get me, Bako?
I didn't, please say it again. What is the question?
So actually, when you see in the diagram showing some changes, on the first notebook, the change from no water to water was around 1,789 hectares square kilometer. I don't remember very well. And the change from water to no water was less. So it means that the water is being spread, invading other areas. So do you think this is due to those kind of, I could consider flooding could impact other activities on the lake?
Yeah, yes. So thank you for the question. I think, as I said, 2020 is a exceptional year in West Africa. and we receive very, very important rainfall in 2020. That's why we have floodings in the area. And I think that this can be the reason why there is increasing in water to water for between 2019 and 2020.
Good.
There
Thank
is
you.
a link between the water extent that we have and the rainfall that can be received in the area.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Another small question. It's like the peak for rainfall was in August, while the peak for lake water was in January. So, do you think that taking 4 or 5 months to reach the peak won't be a long time if you consider inlet and outlet budget with the lake?
Yeah, it's due to the catchment that you have. You have it here, and I think when the rainfall started, the contribution in the lake, the first contributions that we can receive are the rainfalls that can be received around the lake, and the important one will come some months ago before after, and that's why the maximum of the water extent is always late than the starting of the rainy season.
Okay, actually, I was wondering the size of the catchment. Otherwise, kind of rainwater or river running for 4 months. So, how wide is the catchment?
So you have we have the maximum in August. So you have or you can say August,
Yeah.
September, October, November, and you have the maximum 5 months or 6 months after in
Yes.
terms of water extent. And we have the same here in the river Niger. We have the maximum of rainfall in August, and the maximum of water extent that we have according to what is the rainfall in Guinea. It's about 5 to 6 months like this. In the same for the Lake Chad.
Okay, thank you. Actually, I
Yes.
should visit my geography professor.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you so much, Bako. The request.
I have a question also.
Yes.
A comment, not a question.
Yes, Dr. Kelebogi.
Yes, thank you, Bako, for this wonderful and excellent presentation. I do concur with you that this is quite good for scientific publication, and maybe Ken should also consider how we can actually, because some of us we are actually employed to have an output in terms of research output. How can this also help to increase the output of scientific publications in Africa? As we know that Africa, in terms of publications, is rated very low compared to Asia and other developing countries. So I think this is something that we need to take into consideration. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I think we here at the center, we have the same, it's the same idea. We say that we have our own result, we have our own numbers. Why don't we publish them scientifically? So thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kelebogi, for the challenge. Accepted, and we shall work together. There was a request by Dr. Jonah Kubia, of which I've put your Bako's email there. The notebook will be shared. Otherwise, any other comment? I was trying to look at Kelebogi's work, which is just close to what you presented, if you don't mind, Bako. So if you look at my screen, Dr. Kelebogi has been working on the Okavango using the water observation from space, and the Okavango actually is very big area. So she is looking for a small area within the Okavango called the Lake Ngami. And the best result is just this figure number 2, which shows the variability over time. How do you think Bako this can work with engaging the high level policymakers?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I think you have, I don't know if you put in place one organization to manage the water resources in this lake, and we have this case here in West Africa, and I think we can share the result with them, so they will be able to share them again with all the decision makers that are involved in the management of the water resources here. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bako. I wanted first to see how the policymakers are able to take up some of the work. And we are grateful so much for your presentation and how you'll engage with the higher management to have some policy brief documentation in French and English, and perhaps other languages to accommodate everybody.